Studies suggest that 40 to 50% of gay couples engage in some form of consensual non-monogamy, compared to 4 to 5%, 4 to 5% for heterosexual and lesbian couples. Another study, specifically from 2018, showed that 33% of gay participants reported being in open relationships, compared to 2% of the heterosexual participants, 5% of the lesbian participants, and 22% of bisexual participants. Okay, so those are the numbers. Some of them. There's a lot more studies out there. So what's the verdict here? While gay couples statistically appear more likely to be non-monogamous, this does not apply universally. Very important. So let's squash that myth. I can answer the question right now. Okay. Not all gay relationships are open, or not everyone wants openness. It's just not true. So let's stop saying that. That said, there is statistical evidence to show that we as gay men are less likely to choose monogamy, or we're not as likely to choose it as an option. So that got me thinking as to why. Why are gay couples less likely to choose monogamy? I don't think it's because we can't. I don't think it's because we're broken. Throw that in the bin, in my opinion. So what could it be? So I came up with 4 reasons why we don't choose monogamy. Okay. It's not because we can't. One is that I think for a lot of people, at least in the US, in Canada, North America, Europe, same-sex marriage is a relatively new possibility. So for many of us who didn't grow up with that as a norm, we didn't have role models. We didn't have this concept of gay marriage until very recently for us. So we didn't really grow up thinking it. I certainly didn't grow up thinking I was ever going to get married. So it was never really a possibility for me. That's in life and in the media, right? Media as well. Media just mirrored that as well. So we were left to define gay relationships on our own terms without any kind of boundary or structure or role modeling. It's like, okay, well, if we don't have one, then that opens the door for us challenging the idea of monogamy, which is, I think, what a lot of us did and still do. Okay. Another reason is that I think it's, and I've talked about this in the past, I think it's a fundamental part of the DNA of being queer that we just question social norms on everything, gender, sexuality, and even relationship structures. It's just what we do. We fly the flag of nonconformity in society, and we go against the grain simply by existing. Even if you are a traditional conservative person, your existence is against the grain. Okay. So, for a lot of us, we know how to follow our personal preferences, even when it's unconventional. We've done episodes recently about coming out and how that really goes against the grain. So we can do this more so than our hetero friends and hetero relationships. We don't have that role modeling there. We don't have that social structure there. And also, we're just used to going against the grain. The third reason, and I did find evidence for this one, is that men, regardless of sexual orientation, are more inclined towards sexual variety than women. So when you put male relationships together, 2 men together, okay, you tend to have a mutual understanding here. I kind of want some variety. You want some variety. We both agree we want the variety. So it just makes it easier to negotiate openness when 2 partners both want it. Okay. And the last reason, the last one here I have, is that a lot of gay relationships are DINKs. And if you don't know what a DINK is, double income, no kids, DINK. So it gives us a lot of independence, a lot of freedom, a lot of time, a lot of bandwidth to explore and manage the work that goes into being in an open relationship. Okay, so those are some of the reasons why I think we don't choose monogamy. Yet despite this, another study suggested that about 50% of gay male couples are monogamous, and 50% do allow for some sex outside of the relationship. And don't forget that non-monogamy is a very big spectrum. You can like crack the door open, or you can like blow the barn doors open and have full non-monogamy. So 50% are monogamous, and then 50% have some kind of agreement in there. So evidence shows that monogamy is going strong. It is alive and well. So let's talk about that. The reality is, I think, from what I see, is that it's just not talked about as much. It's not exciting or sexy or interesting. like openness is, right? Monogamy is just, it's the standard. It's what we all know. So it doesn't get as much attention, I think. And I think that's what's actually happening here.